make sure before you leave the room, submit your assignment, and then we will review that on Monday. And then on Wednesday, you're going to have the fourth exam over chapter 27, 28, 29, right? Hey, it's all about animals. Okay, do you have questions before we start? Yes? We do. Okay. Yeah. So just follow the schedule. Okay. According to the schedule, before the review, there will be quiz over this chapter, chapter 29. Okay. So we're gonna follow the schedule. Okay. Don't forget to bring your baby on Monday. Otherwise, you cannot take the quiz. Okay. So the last chapter, which is vertebrates. So we're gonna finish this vertebrate today. Okay, so vertebrate, what does vertebrate mean? It's a group of animals that have vertebrae. What is vertebrae? Backbone. In human, anybody know how many backbone do we have? We have 26 backbone. We have 26. Okay. Now, this group of animals is actually subphylum of the phylum Chordata. Okay, phylum Chordata has 3 subphylum: Urochordata, okay, and then Cephalochordata, and the Vertebrata. Okay, you guys one? The Urochordata and Cephalochordata, they are invertebrate. We have learned that last time. The Vertebrata is the one that is vertebrate. I have to learn the R because I will go to Costa Rica okay, next month. So I need to R. Because when we have a meeting last time, the one that coming from Costa Rica, when they say Costa Rica, the R is really clear. Costa Rica. Okay, no. Okay, so we already learned this one, right? We already have learned this, the chordata characteristic, which is all of them have the notochord, all of them have the gill slit. In us, it's become lungs later, but in fish, it's become gills, and also all of them have the tail. Right? So this is some characteristic of the chordata. Now we are focused on the vertebrate. Again, there are 5 classes in vertebrate. And I believe most of you know this. You learned this since maybe high school, right? There are 5 classes of vertebrate. We start from the vertebrate that live in water, because this is actually the way the evolution. So evolution is coming from water. Therefore, the one that live in water considered as more primitive. Okay? There are some animal actually that will return to water after they become land animal, like mammalia. Some mammalia is going back to the ocean. Whale, for example, whale is actually mammalia, but it's going back to water. Now, the first one is going to be fishes. Fishes mean fish. Anybody that born in March? Yeah, so March is a fishes. After March is April, Aries, and that's what you call it, the astro something. So, but fishes mean actually fish. Fish. And there are 2 types of fish. The one that do not have jaw, agnatha, A mean no, and then the one that have jaw, gnatha or gnatostome. The gnatha, the one that have jaw, also divided into 2 types, which is the chondrichthyes. They do not have bone, but they have cartilage. Including here is the shark and stingray. And then the rest will be osteosteus. Ichthyes mean fish. So if you learn about fish, there is a special knowledge. It's called the ichthyology, which is mean study of fish. Okay, ichthyes mean fish, osteo mean bone. So this one have bone. Osteosteus. Now the one that have bone also divided into 2 types, Actinopterygii and Sarcopterygii. We have learned that also last time. The second class will be amphibia. This is the first animal that start to live in or on land, but their larva still in water. Okay, so that's in amphibia, which is amphi mean two, bio mean live. They live in two habitats, water and then land, terrestrial. And then reptilia, most of them will be on land. Bird also on land, even though they can fly. Okay, they are still called as on land animal. And then mammalia, which is us. And this is considered as the most evolved type of organisms or animals. Again, this is the jawless fish, the agnatha, hagfish, and lamprey. They're all marine animal. Gnatostom, which is the one that have jaw. Again, chondrichthyes, osteichthyes. This is the chondrichthyes. They have cartilage instead of bone. And this is the osteichthyes. They have bone already. And another characteristic of this osteichthyes is they have what we call the operculum. Operculum is the structure that cover their gills. In shark, they don't have that one. They don't have the operculum. So the actino or the osteichthyes, they have the operculum, which is the one that protect their gills, and they also have the swim bladder. So again, I have dissected some fish, and then you should, if you cook, sometimes you will find that the swim bladder, it just looks like a balloon. Sometimes it looks like that. It's very clear, just look like a balloon, very clear. That's actually the swim bladder. Help them to swim, okay, to buoyancy. And now, if you cook at home, you should be able, see that. Now again, this is the ancestor for the land animal, which is actually fish. It is considered as a fish, but it is already fossilized. It is already fossil. They already extinct. The name of that fish is Tiktaalik. So Tiktaalik is the fish that able to walk on land, and this is considered as the ancestor for the land animal. So all the land animals will be coming from this Tiktaalik. Okay. Now, the second class will be amphibian. Again, it's meaning they live in two habitats, water when they're still small or babies, and then land. Okay. There are three orders for this. I mentioned before because they used to live in water. They used to breathe with gills. When they go on land, now suddenly they have to change to breathe with lungs. Right? Therefore, their lung is not that good as our lungs. They still need help to breathe, to absorb oxygen. So they have the ability to absorb oxygen through their skin. So they can breathe through the skin, especially when they are in water. They're able to absorb the oxygen from the water through their skin. This is called what we call the cutaneous respiration. Cutaneous means skin. There are three orders for this group, for this class, which is Urodela. Okay, so Urodela. Uro is the same as tail. Okay, so this group of amphibian, they have tail in the adult form. Example is salamander, right? Anybody see a salamander? Well, we have a lot of salamander actually in Kentucky. I have a friend that specially focus the research in salamander in Kentucky. Okay, so salamander, that's example of the Urodela. Anura, their adult form do not have tail, no tail. Example is what? The most famous one is frog and what is the other one? Toad. Frog and toad. They are anura, no tail. And the last one is apoda. Again, A mean no, Poda means legs, no legs, just like worm, right? But it is actually amphibian. Okay, so there are 3 orders for this group. Okay, so salamander, the Anura, frogs, and this is the Apoda. That's the example. Okay. Okay, the next groups, starting from reptile, and then bird, and then mammal, they start to have eggs that have protection. It's called the amniotic sac. They have amniotes. So their embryo is protected by the amniotes. Before that, fish and amphibian, they do have eggs, but no amniotes. Okay, so starting from reptile, bird and mammalia, they have amniot. This is actually the evolution for land animal. Okay, so because what? Because they put their eggs now on land. The egg is not in the water anymore. Compared to the fish and amphibian, they put their eggs in water. What? They do not need amnion, but this one they need amnions to protect the embryo, the growing embryo in the eggs. Okay, so therefore, 3 of this group will be considered as amniotes. Amniotes mean organism that have amnion, okay, on their eggs. So amniotes include the reptile, bird, and mammals. Okay, they also can be classified based on whether they have the pre or post-orbital opening or not. So this one over here is called orbit. Orbit is the eye socket. Get it? So all these reptile, bird, even frog, okay, they have the eye socket, the orbits, right? Now, in addition of that, there is another hole behind that orbit. Is called the pos. Pos means behind. Post-orbital fenestrae. Fenestrae means opening or hole. So this animal can be divided into different types based on the presence of the post-orbital fenestrae. Yes?
So it's like, even though turtles were separated, it's because they lost those. They lost the diapole.
Yeah, so we're gonna learn that. Okay. So now, just based on that, then there are 2 main types with the synapsid. Synapsid means only have one post fenestrae, okay, post-orbital fenestrae. The sauropsid, it is whether none or 2, whether none or 2. Right? So that's the group of this amniotes based on the post-orbital fenestrae. Now, if you see the skulls of this animal, there are 3 types of the skulls. First, none. There is no post-orbital fenestrae. It is only present in turtles. Turtle and his family, including tortoise. What? So turtle, tortoise, no post-orbital fenestrae. Therefore, they are called as A. A mean again no. Anapsid. Okay, no post-orbital fenestrae. The human or mammal only have one. It's called the synapsid. Okay. Other vertebrae. Okay, other vertebrae, which is other, reptile, except the tortoise and turtle, they are diapsid. Di or D mean 2. So 2 whole. That's including bird and reptiles other than turtles and tortoise. Can you follow this? Okay, that's the classification based on the fenestrae, post-orbital fenestrae. And this is just showing us where is it actually. Okay, this is orbital, our eye socket, and this is post. orbital opening or fenestrae. Reptile. Okay, this is the first amniote. Again, this is the first and most primitive amniote, the reptile. And Jurassic Park is the example, which is dinosaurs. All of them already extinct. So dinosaurs is a reptile. And again, this reptile, some of them would evolve to bird and also to mammals. Okay? So mammals and reptile, mammal and bird, they were evolved from reptile. Okay. This characteristic ectotherm. What is ecto mean? Ecto mean outside. Therm mean temperature. It means that their body temperature is actually controlled by outside temperature. You get this one? If the outside is cold, then their body temperature will be cold. If the outside is hot, their body temperature is hot. Unlike us, our body temperature has to be at the same range, which is around what? 98. What? We are endotherm. Endo means inside. Our temperature is controlled by inside. Okay? So they are ectotherm. Their temperature is actually controlled by outside. Okay? There are four classes for this reptile. Okay? Crocodile, the four orders, sorry. This is class reptile. Crocodilia, this is crocodile and alligator, including, if it is in the southern part of America, it's called the caiman. There is also another type of crocodile. Yeah, so alligator, caiman. Yeah, so you're gonna see later how to differentiate between crocodile and alligators. Okay? So America mostly have what? In Florida, alligator. But there's some also crocodile. Yeah. Yes, yeah, there are some, but mostly alligator. That's the reason why Florida win the championship. Alligator. Gatorade. Oh, sorry, I lie. I'm still happy because at least SEC win the championship. Even the Kentucky is not there. Okay. Now the second one is Sphenodonta, which is this is only two species that actually live in Australia and New Zealand. It's called the tuatara. It look like a lizard, but it's different type of lizard. So this is the Sphenodonta. The next one is Squamata. This is lizard family. Okay, Squamata. Squamata means scale. Okay, scales. And then Testudine, which is turtle and tortoise. Okay, these are the four orders for the reptile. Again, this class is only introduction. Okay, if you want to learn more, you can take, a vertebrate class. Okay, there is a special class for this group of animal. So this crocodile, this is tuatara, this is the Squamata, snake and reptile, and this is the turtle and the tortoise. And there are many different types. Okay, birds. That's the next one, or aves. Aves. This is mean bird. Okay. So avian mean also bird. Okay. This is now they start to be endothermic. What is endothermic? They can control their body temperature.
So like non-native crocodiles want more mesothermic.
Yeah, it's not complete endothermic yet. It's between them, some of them. Yeah, just like us, we have to control our temperature strictly within maybe 95 to 99. If it is less than 95, we have problem. If it is over 99, 100, 102, 103, we also have problem. That's a strict endothermic. But birds sometimes they still kind of follow the environmental temperatures. But they still considered as endothermic because they have the ability to control their temperature within certain range. Right? That's endothermic mean. Modification for flight. Instead of scales, remember in snake, lizard, they have scale. Now the scale become feather. Okay, so feather is actually evolution of scales. Feather. They also have hollow bones. Therefore, it's become lighter. The sternum look like a keel. So if you eat chicken, sometimes you fight with your brother to break that one. What do you call that fighting? You fight and then the wishbone. Yeah, that's actually the sternum. Sternum is the breastbone. Sternum. Okay, so the breastbone is look like keel, so you can fight and then that's a wishbone, right? They call it wishbone. Okay, and you can the winners can wish something, right? I don't know. I don't have that. I don't have that kind of customer, culture, but some of you do that. Okay. They have efficient respirations because during flying, they actually have to control this respiration. Yes. This is a fossil that scientists consider as transition between reptile and bird. The reason they say that because this fossil is called the Archaeopteryx. It has feather, but the beak still have teeth on it, which is reptile. Most reptiles have teeth. Okay, so that's some of the modification of this fossil, the Archaeopteryx. Therefore, it is considered as the ancestor for the bird. So this is a reptile that have bird characteristic. Last group, the mammals. Okay, so mammals, again, it is endothermic. We are able to control our body temperature. It doesn't matter whether the outside cold or hot. We will always control our body temperature within 98. This is endothermic. Next, also they have mammary glands. That's another characteristic of this group. Mammary gland is breast, which is the breast, the gland that produce on the female, it produce milk for the baby. And then type of teeth indicate diet. You actually can identify whether this is herbivore, carnivore, based on the teeth. Yeah. Yeah, they combine. But if you see more, for example, molars is considered as more or tend to be the herbivore. But if it has canine, it's mostly gonna be carnivore. We are actually between that because we eat everything, right? We are omnivore. We still have canine. We also have the molars on the back. Yeah. So many animals also, therefore there are herbivore, omnivore, carnivore. You actually can identify based on the teeth also. Yeah. Okay. Now, these mammalia have 3 subclasses. This is not order. Remember, this is subclasses. Above the order. Now, 3 subclasses. Prototheria. Oh, I forgot to mention about the hair. Hair is another characteristic of mammals. We have hair instead of feather, or instead of scales. We don't have scales. We have hair. That's mammals. Now, 3 subclasses, Prototheria. This still lay eggs, because this is still very primitive. It's considered as a primitive mammal, which is the egg is still outside, lay eggs. Example is Phineas and Ferb. Do you watch Phineas and Ferb? Yeah, the platypus, very platypus. They still look like, actually still look like bird, right? They have bills, and they lay eggs. But they are mammals. They are mammals. So platypus is Prototheria. It's still primitive type of mammal. The next one is Meta, a little bit higher in evolution, but still lower than the other one. This one includes the kangaroo. Kangaroo. What happened with this? Their baby still clings into the mommy, which is they have belly, pocket that for carrying the baby. This is called the marsupials. The embryo continue to develop outside the mothers, inside the pouch. So that's the marsupials group, which is Metatheria. And the last group is, including us over here, Eutheria, the real mammalia. And this is the one that will have placenta. Why? Because the baby is actually fully developed inside the mother's womb. Fully developed, it is born as a fully developed human or individual. Okay, so that's the Eutheria. Okay, this is again examples of mammals. Okay, Monotremata, marsupials, and this is Eutheria. Okay, this is the classifications for mammals. Subclasses, again there are 3 subclasses: Prototheria, the Metatheria, and Eutheria. And then from these 3 subclasses is divided into many orders. Okay, for the Prototheria there is Monotremata, only 1 order, and then Metatheria there are marsupials order, and the rest for Eutheria we have a lot of orders over here, including, let's say, Rodentia for mouse, Proboscidae, this is for elephants, the one that have long head. Yeah. This is primates, which is our orders. Again, I mentioned to you why it's called primates, because we are the one that making the name. What? Prime mean the best. Okay, so primate is the best order. So we are prime order, the primates. That's including the monkey, chimpanzee, and also gorilla on that primate. Okay, so these are the orders for this Eutheria. This is just example one of them, which is our order, the order of primates, okay, including the lemurs, monkey, apes, human. There are 2 types, okay, prosimians, which is have smaller brain. Most of them is nocturnal. Anybody know what nocturnal mean? They mostly active during the night. So nocturnal. Okay? The opposite of nocturnal is diurnal. This is active during the day. Okay? So nocturnal, they are active during the night. The second group is anthropoid. This is including us, have a bigger brain. There are 2 types. For example, monkey, there are 2 types of monkey, Old World and New World. This is usually the one that live in South America, is considered as the new tropical monkey or New World monkey. This is just, remember when we talk about similarity in structure? Anybody still know? Remember what is similarity in structure? Homologous. Yeah. So we have the homologous. Yeah. The opposite is analogous. Right? You still remember that? Right? Homologous. This is homologous structure between different group of primates. And from this structure, okay, according to the science, we are closest to the chimpanzee. So chimpanzee is our closest relative based on the DNA and also based on this homologous structure. Look at this one, orangutan. This actually live in Indonesia only. Orang is actually mean, this is Indonesian language. Orang mean human or persons or people. What? Utan mean forest. Right? So, orangutan mean human that live in forest because they think, oh, it looks like human, so give a name orangutan. They only have one area for this orangutan, which is the Borneo Islands in Indonesia. And we actually have a scientist from, I forget the name of the university in New Jersey, that always go to Indonesia every year, annual research over there. Okay, so this is only one group, also only one species orangutans that live in Indonesia. So this is very, very endemic species. Even though the name is called orangutan, if you are Indonesian, you think that this is the closest one to us, which is we are orang, we are human, right? Orang means human. But actually, the most closest or the closest animal to us is chimpanzee, based on the structure and also based on the DNA components. Yeah. So this is just, again, classifications. Humans over here. Yeah. And it is considered that the first human is actually live in Africa. So our ancestor consider us from Africa that spread all over the world to become human. And only one human species left now, which is us. Right? Over here is called the homini, human, which is our, anybody still remember our species name? Homo sapiens. Okay, this is the only one species left. Maybe we have different races, but one species. Right? So Homo sapiens. Right, we're done. Basically, we done all this chapter, 27, 28, 29. Again, please submit your assignment. We will review this on Monday. If it is not stapled yet, just put it there. I will staple later in my office.
Your ID is